Forget history class. Forget everything you were taught about how the ancient world worked. They did not just build pyramids. They built things that our greatest engineers today cannot replicate. Imagine a working battery 2,000 years old, a computer more complex than anything built until the 1960s, or metal tools that should not have been possible for centuries. These are not myths. These are real artifacts discovered and authenticated that prove ancient civilizations possessed a science that was lost. These 15 pieces of ancient tech defy modern science and will make you question everything you believe about our past. Found by sponge divers in a Roman shipwreck, this artifact is the most complex piece of engineering recovered from the ancient world. The Antikythera Mechanism is a clockwork device built over 2,000 years ago and is now widely accepted as the world's first analog computer. It used over 30 intricate bronze gears to accurately predict solar and lunar eclipses and track the movements of planets in the sky. Nothing this complex was built again until the European clockmaking boom in the 18th century, a stunning example of lost mathematical and mechanical genius. Deep in the Baghdad Museum sit 3 terracotta jars containing a copper cylinder and an iron rod. This arrangement, dating back over 2,000 years, is believed to be the world's oldest electric battery. When filled with an electrolyte like grape juice or vinegar, it generates a voltage. While its original purpose is debated by some as a ritual item, many suggest it was used for electroplating or possibly medical purposes. It is physical evidence that people were experimenting with electrical power centuries before scientists like Volta were born. This incredible map, drawn in 1513 by Ottoman cartographer Piri Reis, shows the coastline of South America, the west coast of Africa, and most shockingly, a part of Antarctica's coastline without its ice cover. Antarctica was not officially discovered until 1820, and its subglacial topography was not mapped until the 20th century. The map's accuracy for its time is phenomenal, and the existence of an ice-free coastline suggests the map's sources date back to an unknown, highly advanced civilization, perhaps thousands of years earlier. The Romans built structures that still stand today, while most modern concrete structures begin to crack and degrade in decades. Roman concrete is famous for its incredible durability and longevity. Used in structures like the Pantheon and ancient harbors, its secret lies in a volcanic ash mixture that actually gets stronger over time when exposed to seawater. Modern scientists have been trying to reverse engineer this formula for years because it resists cracking and chemical degradation, a true lost art of chemical engineering. Dating back nearly 3,000 years, this rock crystal artifact discovered in modern-day Iraq is an oval-shaped piece of polished natural crystal. The lenses of Nimrud could be the earliest example of an optical lens. Its magnifying properties are significant enough to have been used as a simple reading or magnifying glass for ancient scholars. It may also suggest that the Assyrians were able to view the stars in greater detail, hinting at an unexpected level of astronomical observation, or that they had access to sophisticated light-focusing technology. Along the banks of the Columbia River, metal objects were discovered buried deep in layers of soil, dating them to a time long before local tribes had any knowledge of metalworking. These relics include bowls and metal rings made of pure iron and brass that show evidence of smelting and forging techniques that should have been impossible for the region's inhabitants for centuries. The source of these advanced metallic alloys remains a mystery, suggesting possible contact with an unknown foreign civilization or a highly localized technological leap that vanished without a trace. While a structure, the Great Pyramid is also a piece of impossible ancient technology, built with over 23 million stone blocks. The pyramid's base is level to within an inch across 13 acres and is aligned almost perfectly to true North A level of precision that is incredibly difficult to achieve even with lasers and GPS. The methods used to achieve such precise cuts and movements of stones weighing up to 70 tons remain the biggest puzzle of ancient construction, suggesting mastery over geometry and engineering far beyond the known tools of the age. Near the famous city of Cusco, Peru, sits the fortress of Sacsayhuaman, which features massive dry stone walls. The largest stone weighs over 120 tons, but the truly impossible part is the polygonal masonry. Stones are cut into complex shapes and fit together with such exacting precision that you cannot slip a piece of paper between them. No mortar was used, and this tight fit made the walls incredibly resistant to the frequent earthquakes of the region. The tools and methods used to cut shape and perfectly join these giant irregular blocks are still unknown, discovered in a remote mountain cave in China. In 1938, the Dropa stones are a series of 716 stone discs, each approximately 1 foot wide. They feature tiny, intricate spiral grooves that run from the center to the rim. These grooves are covered in a bizarre tiny script that tells the story of an alien probe crash landing in the area 12,000 years ago. While widely dismissed as a hoax, the sheer number and consistency of the engraved discs continue to baffle researchers and add to the lore of lost history and impossible extraterrestrial contact. Scattered across the Olmec heartland of Veracruz and Tabasco, Mexico, are 17 colossal basalt stone heads. The largest head stands over 11 feet tall and weighs nearly 50 tons. The Olmec had no wheeled vehicles and no knowledge of metal tools for quarrying. The nearest basalt source for these stones was 50 miles away across mountains and swamps. The technique used to carve such massive detailed faces and the method used to transport these 50-ton sculptures across challenging terrain remains a feat of engineering that defies their known technological capabilities. This large stone slab, discovered in the Ural Mountains of Russia, is believed to be a highly detailed three-dimensional relief map of the entire region. The map depicts rivers, canyons, and geographical features with remarkable accuracy using an unusual cement-like composition. The age of the map is estimated to be around 120 million years old, which if true suggests the existence of a highly advanced or non-human cartography civilization at a time when humans were not thought to exist on Earth. The impossible age and accuracy of the map challenge the entire timeline of global history. This ancient Sanskrit text is a collection of writings describing the technology of flying machines or Vimanas. The text goes into extensive detail, describing the construction, propulsion, and operation of aerial vehicles, including detailed schematics for various types of aircraft. While many scholars consider the text mythological, the sheer technical detail, including descriptions of propulsion systems that sound eerily like mercury vortex engines, suggests access to advanced theoretical knowledge centuries ahead of its time. Used for swords from the Middle East between 900 AD and 1750 AD, Damascus steel was a legendary material prized for its exceptional sharpness, flexibility, and strength. Modern metallurgical analysis shows the steel contained carbon nanotubes and specific microscopic structures, a level of material science that should have been impossible at the time. The secret forging process, which involved complex heat treatments and specific ore sources, was lost entirely, and modern science is still trying to perfectly replicate its ancient durability. This Roman cup from the 4th century AD appears green when lit from the front, but glows a vivid ruby red when light is shown from inside. The effect is achieved because the glass contains tiny nanoparticles of gold and silver suspended in the material, an incredibly sophisticated technique known as dichroic glass. This required a mastery of nanotechnology that simply should not have been possible. 1,700 years ago, a purely visual effect that proves ancient glassmakers had an accidental or intentional knowledge of materials, science we barely understand. Near Visoko, Bosnia, stand several large hills that some researchers claim are not natural formations, but ancient human-made pyramids. The largest hill, the Pyramid of the Sun, is alleged to be larger than the Great Pyramid of Giza. Some archaeological findings suggest the hills contain carved blocks and channels, while other evidence points to geological formation. Regardless of the controversy, the sheer scale of the debate and the geological anomalies have made the Bosnian pyramids a modern enigma, a potential complex of structures that, if confirmed, would rewrite the timeline of all European history. Which piece of lost technology, from the ancient computer to the perfect swords, was the most unbelievable? Tell me your favorite in the comments and subscribe now for more impossible facts about our history and our world.